Hey traders, checking in on the stock market today. So we needed to see QQQ bull follow through in all the sectors that are correlated with it. We did not change hourly trends. We saw nice bounces Friday, but zero follow through. There were a couple of clues that gave some signals to the bears early on. We'll look at what they were, and we'll also look at some potential bounce opportunities tomorrow that I'm going to be keeping an eye on in those names. So we started the morning and preparing for the live stream and the game plan on the day. First things first, have to break the high of Friday. But the futures chart allowed for some bigger picture outlook that protected me personally. Because you look at QQQ and the high of Friday, and we broke that level today. Granted, we only broke it by 45 cents or so, but that would have faked me out. And I would have potentially lightened up on my short position, which I've been holding for the last week plus, and that would have put me in a bad spot. So why did I not sell on that bull break and ease up my short exposure? And the reason was the futures chart. So NAS 100 USD, the 4-hour time frame. We have the low of Friday, the high of the Friday bounce. That was hit. It was actually hit on Sunday night. So that initial push up, futures opened because of the stimulus. We got an initial push up and then no follow through. So that was the top. We then set a higher low in pre-market, and then look at this rejection. So knowing that this 4-hour time frame was tightening up and clear, I was able to say, okay, we have to see the bulls break the high of Friday first thing, but even if we break that level, it's not all clear because we're then going to be looking at that resistance level, and if we reject, a tightening 4-hour pattern is possible, and we don't want to get faked out. So the futures chart did a really good job of giving clarity on a longer term time frame, and it definitely saved me from making a mistake today. The other clear signal for the bears showing some weakness was Apple. Apple was giving red flags all day. Apple is the most important stock in the market in my opinion because of its holdings in a bunch of ETFs. And QQQ, Apple is the largest holding at 13 point whatever percent. So if Apple is not finding a bottom, QQQ is not going to find a bottom. And look at Apple's start to the day. 5-minute flush right out of the gate. And then a lower high and lower low. So look at QQQ. This is QQQ responding to Apple and then hitting a new high of the day. And that's because its other largest holdings like Amazon were strong and they were offsetting that Apple weakness to a certain degree. That being said, it couldn't keep up all day. So Apple was bearish all day. At about 30 minutes into the morning, I was looking at it. It's down 2.4%. Everybody else in the tech sector, all the major names, were down 0.6%, 1.2% at most. It was down percentage-wise twice as much as any of its peers, and it was all bear from there. We broke the low of Friday. So we cannot have any confidence in a bottom in QQQ, which means we cannot have any confidence in a bottom in solar, EV, MJ names, anything that's correlating to QQQ as long as Apple is in free fall. And right now Apple's in free fall, and the next support level that we're looking at is 112.59 as the daily RSI is back towards approaching oversold. Keep an eye on Apple. It is important. SPY had some significant bounce follow through, and that's because XLF continues to rage in blue sky breakout. XLF was up 2.5% at one point today and closed pretty strong. So that is giving a lot of space here. This is the biggest bounce that SPY has seen since this pullback started. From our low of Thursday to the high of today, we bounced 4%. And the other bounces were 3% and change and 3% and change. So we have the most space to work with for the attempt at a daily high or low, the most that we've had at any point during this pullback. But we have to see Apple and QQQ bottom if SPY is going to look for a daily higher low to form compared to 371.88. Again, bigger picture, this is not a fear environment. There's fear in pockets of this market, but as long as XLF is hitting all-time highs, the Dow hit all-time highs today because its largest holdings are the financial sector and the healthcare sector is up there as well, and the healthcare sector had a good first half of the day today. But as long as these other sectors are going up, energy is going up, again, money is not racing to leave the market like it has in times where we've seen significant fear. So there is fear, but it is contained fear in the market right now. And again, if XLF loses its daily uptrend, that opens the doors for more significant fear. So even if you're focused on names that are weaker, there's confidence to buy dips in those names for monthly higher lows as long as we are seeing money rotating around into other places. So QQQ low of Friday is going to be in play tomorrow. That level is 297.45. If that level breaks, the next level is 294.78, and we'll be looking right back to daily oversold conditions. What that bounce did on Friday is cooled off RSI levels on the 4-hour and the hourly time frame, which absolutely opens up the door for another possible leg down. We are not oversold on any of those time frames in QQQ. So low of Friday is in play tomorrow. And that little double top on the futures chart is going to be key resistance in the short term as well. So here's XLF, bull break to higher highs, new all-time high. Anything above 32.60 is a daily higher low, which means the bulls have 4% plus of space to work with to maintain the daily uptrend. What I am watching for is one possible scenario as to what it's going to take for QQQ to find a bottom, and that's potentially XLF and laggard sectors finding a top. Could be a scenario where they find a top, see weekly consolidation, and the profit taking from those value sectors goes back into the tech names and our previous high flyers. Doesn't have to play out that way, but that's one way it could play out. XLV had a very significant bounce as well. Still just a daily downtrend, 114.61 resistance. We rejected 8 pennies from the last daily lower high. If the low of today breaks tomorrow, daily consolidation, and the bulls must hold 109.93 for a daily higher low to try and form. Biotech sector remaining weak as well. Low of Friday back in play, 128.44. And again, we didn't change the hourly trend. It was low of Friday, straight into high of today. The bulls have to hold the low of Friday and break the high of today to confirm an hourly trend change. And even then, we're just looking for a daily lower high to form. If we can't change the hourly trend, it's a potential daily bear flag. If we can change the hourly trend, that's when the bulls start trying to create the space for the daily trend change to eventually take place. Semiconductors are weaker than QQQ and tech. They broke the low of Friday and closed at the low of the day. So where's our next support level? 210 is the next clear base of support. And again, no hourly trend change. Bounced Friday, gave it all back. If we cannot change hourly trends, the bulls prove nothing. Do not give them any benefit of the doubt. Yes, NIO and Tesla bounced in very significant ways on Friday. They did not change the hourly trend, and they gave back a lot of those gains today. I will be watching those names for bounce plays tomorrow. NIO specifically, because Tesla at this point only has a few percent before we drop to a lower low, 3.5%, whereas NIO has a bit more wiggle room, 8.5%. What I want to see, as far as an easy day, give me a gap down open to 33 and give me a play off of 31.91 support, giving some wiggle room. And I will remain interested in these EV names and playing bounces as long as we are in daily oversold conditions and looking for monthly higher lows. So I'm perfectly fine knowing that one of my edges as a trader is the oversold bounces. And Friday, forgot I didn't do a video, but Friday was a good bounce day trading NIO, where I was scaling in on the drop. And then obviously we had very significant bounce follow through. But I'm fine with my account staying flat. And then I just wait for the bounce opportunities and then I make those bounce trades. And that scenario on Friday allowed for me to make up a good chunk of the downside that I have seen since the start of March. So always looking for those bounce plays. And those lows of Friday are in play tomorrow. Solar sector. So now we're looking at the Biden names. Again, EV, MJ, solar. Biden names weak and correlated to QQQ. And here's TAN testing the low of Friday. 80.80. It is still holding, but if that level breaks, the next support level that we're looking at is 79.21. And again, just another name that is looking for a monthly higher low. Way overextended, cooling way off. And I am watching for names like this to give us monthly tightening ranges and get boring eventually. After we bounce here, if we bounce significantly, we're then going to look for the monthly lower high, and that could potentially see things tighten up into Q2, Q3, Q3, Q4, but one step at a time. Have to be looking for monthly higher lows here. MSOS, same thing, still weak. No confirmed hourly trend changes on any of the Biden sectors. And the low of Friday is back in play. Earnings on Curaleaf is going to impact the sector tomorrow. But the bears are keeping their complete short-term control because of QQQ weakness. The VIX didn't really see much upside. It was a green day today because we closed down here on Friday and we closed higher today, but no notable follow through, and that's because the healthcare sector and the financial sector were strong for a good part of today. So we're still watching for the VIX to give us a daily high or low compared to 2250. But again, you're not seeing massive fear because the rotation game and because some sectors are staying strong. The dollar is all bulls. This is an impact. This is having an impact. Weekly trend change bullish. Follow through. 92.80 is the next resistance. Plenty of space for a daily higher low next time we consolidate. What are we looking for on EV and solar and all these names? We're looking for monthly higher lows. ARK, these ARK ETFs, we're looking for monthly higher lows. What are we looking for on the dollar? A monthly lower high. You better believe that those two things are going to happen fairly close to each other, in my opinion, as far as timing. Gold and silver still weak. So much for gold being a hedge. 4-hour downtrend line still in play, but again, every single bounce is just a lower high. And as long as that is the case, the bears keep complete confidence and control. We can bounce again tonight, and anything under 1714 is just another 4-hour lower high. And what these bounces are doing is allowing for cooling off of short-term RSI levels and allowing for further downside. Silver, same thing, 4-hour. Trying to hold the low, but just setting lower highs on bounces. 25.93, anything under that level, just a lower high. Every bounce is a lower high. In order for the metals to bounce, we will likely need the dollar to top out. And there is no sign of that. And the metals have been seeing the most significant inverse correlation to the dollar out of any of our assets. Miners still weak, failed to change the hourly trend on Friday. Notable bounce, but no trend change. So just an hourly tightening range today. If it breaks bullish, we scout a daily lower high. For me, it's anything under 50.65. Oil still strong. A little bit of a temporary top looking set. 4-hour has a wide range. We're looking for a 4-hour higher low. But then on this bounce, aggressive bears are going to be watching for a 4-hour lower high. That being said, even if we do see that and confirm a 4-hour downtrend, there is plenty of space for a daily higher low, anything above 59.24. I'm watching oil because when oil loses the daily uptrend for the first time in a long time, when's the last time? We had a little bear break here by some pennies with no follow through, but it's essentially been all bulls all 2021. So 2+ months of all bulls. When we lose the daily uptrend, maybe that's the first sign that the energy sector is going to consolidate. Maybe that's the first sign that the financial sector is going to consolidate. Does that mean that funds rotate from our laggard sectors who have been the leaders in 2021 back into our tech names and all of these high flyers previously? That's a possibility. So I'm keeping an eye closely on this oil daily uptrend. Natural gas still weak. 4-hour downtrend, same as the metals. Every bounce just a 4-hour lower high. We're in a daily downtrend. We are looking for a weekly higher low with space to form it, but there's no sign that it is being set. And through all of this and everything that's going on, aside from our laggard sectors, the strongest asset is Bitcoin. It has a bullish correlation with everything that's been going on. It's trying to change the daily trend. It's trying to keep a weekly bull flag alive. It is positioned very well. If QQQ, it is definitely still correlated to QQQ. Look at the start to today. So again, QQQ, first 5 minutes, dropped hard, 5-minute bounce candle. So there's your drop, there's your bounce to a new high, higher low, higher high. Bitcoin did the exact same thing. The difference is we set a support level right here at 1150 and headed to a higher high. What did QQQ do from 1150? Weak bounce, new low of the day. Bullish correlation between Bitcoin and QQQ. It reacts to it, especially when the bell rings, but it's a bullish correlation. So if the QQQ bulls can find a bottom, looking at you, Apple, Bitcoin's positioned well. So that's where we stand. I am watching bounces. I'm watching the dollar strength. I'm watching our laggard sector strength. And I am wondering, is it going to require those things topping out to see bounces in our other grouping of sectors? Keeping a close eye on the EV names. Stop losses are a must. We can always see another leg down more significantly than you think. So remaining protective. Have a good day. Do good things. We'll end it here with some. Finally got my artwork finished in my dining room. Artist Rich Ayers, Ayers. Young guy, early 20s. This guy can go places. He is just warming up. See you soon.